I hope you guys understand how to do this number B. I want us to do number C, where they say correct to one decimal place the size of MAD. MAD. We need to find angle MAD. Let's quickly go on the diagram. Let's see which angle is that. MAD. This is the angle that they are talking about. This is the angle that you need to find. And to find that angle, it's easy. Remember that already we have what? I think we already have MA. Remember, we know that MA is the radius. And if the equation of the line it's fine, we'll talk about that. But remember that the distance from MA is root of 40. What we have to do, we just have to use the coordinates of D. We need to use the coordinates of D and the coordinates of A to find this distance. Then we can use trig ratios, where we're going to use cos because we have hypotenuse and what? Hypotenuse and adjacent. Let's quickly work on this. Right, remember on this question, we just proved that this is the equation of the line. This is the equation of the line, right? If this is the equation of the line, we can calculate the radius. Okay, so we know that the line MA, this line MA will have the distance of what? The distance of root 40. It's fine. I can also explain why I'm saying this is equal to the distance of root 40. So if this is 40, remember the line of MA from M to A, this is our radius. MA is the radius. So to find the radius, we just take 40. We can just say, we know that R squared is equal to 40. Then we can find R by square root both sides. Therefore, R is equal to the root 40. And that R is your MA. So now that we have MA, all we have to do is to use the distance formula to find the DA. Right. So if we use the distance formula, we can quickly go back to that and say, to use the distance formula, we have the points A, which is minus 3 and 11, and we have the points D, which is minus 1. Remember, we have D as what? Minus 1 and 7. So I'm going to quickly use the distance formula to find the DA. So this will be the root of, if we do the substitution, it should be minus 1 plus 3 squared into 7 minus 11 squared. So if you punch that on the calculator, DA is equal to the root of 20. So now, remember, it's like this. Okay, let's quickly fix this. Okay, so this is M. We have this as what? We have this as D. Then this is A. So this one is the distance is root 20. And the distance here is root of 40 when we are looking for that angle. And remember, this is 90 degrees. So we can use the cos. So we can say that the cos of that angle A, the cos of that angle A is equal to what? It's equal to adjacent, which is the root of 20, all over hypotenuse, which is the root of 40. Right. Therefore, if you work this thing out, you can say that angle A is equal to the cos inverse of what? Root 20 all over the root of 40. So this should give you what? Angle A to be equal to 45 degrees. Right. You can also verify that on your site. So let us do the last question. Which is also an interesting question. They say that find the numeric value of P if the tangent to a circle at A meets the x-axis at the point P. Right, I'm not going to do this one because this is easy. I'm just going to tell you what you have to do. Right, on this one. Remember, they want us to find this point. The point P. We know that this is the x-intercept. So to find this, we need to find the equation of A, this equation of the tangent. And how can we find the equation of the tangent? We can use the gradient of that line because these two lines are perpendicular. Can you see? The radius and these lines are perpendicular. And we know that the equation of this is 3x plus 20. So this tells us that the gradient is 3. If the gradient is 3, what is the gradient of the tangent? The gradient of the tangent will be equal to minus 1 over 3, which is the reciprocal of 3. So if you have that, you can use any point, which is point A. Right, maybe I should write it down. It's fine. Let me see. Maybe I need to write this down. So we said that we have the gradient of the tangent. The gradient of the tangent will be equal to what? Minus 1 over 3. Why is the gradient of the tangent minus 1 over 3? Because we know that the gradient of MA is just 3. Therefore, this is the gradient of the tangent. So we can say y is equal to find the equation of the tangent, y is equal to minus 1 all over 3x plus c. We can use any point, which is point A that we have. Point A is minus 3 and 11. So where there's y, we put 11. Where there's x, we're going to put minus 3 plus c. Therefore, if you solve this, the 3 will cancel. Therefore, the negative also cancel. We are left with 1. The 1 will come this side to be negative. C will be 11 minus 10, which is equal to 11 minus 1, which is equal to 10. That's the value of C. Therefore, we can say that y will be equal to minus 1 all over 3x plus 10. That is the equation of the tangent. So if we go, the question wants us to find this point P. So to find that point P, let us quickly go on the diagram and see that point P. Remember this point, the one that they want, we know that the y for this is x. This is the x-intercept. So to find P, we can say we let the x-intercept, if y is 0, we can let y to be equal to 0. Therefore, where there's y, we put 0. We have this as negative plus 10. Negative plus 10. Therefore, the 10 comes this side to be negative 10. It's equal to 1 all over 3x. Therefore, we can isolate this, divide both sides by 1 all over 3x. This will give us P to be equal to 30. Why? Because if we take this, we can say this is minus 10 times 3, which is equal to x. So the value of x is P, which is equal to 30, and the negative will cancel each other. So just to challenge you guys, I'm just going to leave you with a question that you can practice. This question, they want us, you can take a screenshot and work on this one. They want you to find the size of angle theta. The size of angle theta, and how many marks? 6 marks. Right. So to find this one, make sure that you have the distance of AC. You can use the distance formula. It's fine. So this is a challenge. I'm going to leave you guys with this challenge, and also another one, which is the general solution. The general solution, you can try the general solution for this. You can try the general solution. Maybe we can just do this one very quick. I'm not going to solve it, but I can just simplify this. I know that I can write this as 1 all over 2 the sine x all over the cos x, which is equal to this can be written as 2 the sine x the cos x. Therefore, from there we can multiply everything with what? We can multiply everything with the cos, then or maybe we can multiply everything with 2 cos, so that this side we are left with sine x is equal to 4 the sine x the cos squared x. Right, so if we have something like this, we can say this is 4 sine squared x. 4 sine x. This should be what? 4 sine x. Then the other one, it will be, this is 4 sine x the cos squared x minus the sine x is equal to 0. Then from there, someone can say, I'll take out the common factor, which is the sine x. Then I'll be left with 4. The cos squared x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then I think you guys can take it from there. The sine x is 0 or 4. The cos x is equal to 1. You can work this thing out and say the cos squared x is equal to 1 over 4. Therefore, you can square both sides and say that the cos x is equal to plus or minus 1 over 2. Right. Then you can work with this and finish this thing to do the general solution for this problem.